Everybody, this is your main man Keith here from Keith Plays PS4 927. Happy Wednesday afternoon to all my awesome viewers on this awesome channel. We are in Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinals for our 0001 Los Angeles Lakers series. And we've been winning 2-0 over the 0708 Denver Nuggets in our road to the NBA Finals series. So that's something to see along the lines. The next 2 games we're going to be playing in Denver. So if we win both of those games, this episode and next episode, we sweep the 0708 Nuggets. That's going to be our second team that we have swept, because in the first round we had swept the 97-98 Utah Jazz. So then we would end up in the Western Conference Finals playoffs, either against the 0708 Rockets or the 13-14 Los Angeles Clippers. So I'm really anticipated for NBA Finals, because we're going to play against the 01 Sixers in a 21st anniversary rematch of the 01 NBA Finals. So we'll show you the uniforms. We'll see you at tip-off. Alright, the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be wearing their classic purple 99 through 2017 uniforms. Meanwhile, for the Denver Nuggets, they're going to be wearing their classic white home uniforms from 08 through 2016. So without a further ado, we'll see you at tip-off. Here we are at the Pepsi Center in Denver, in the 5,280 mile high city of Denver. So now the Nuggets claim possession. Quinn Cook is gonna lose the basketball. D-Fish picks it up, passing it over to Kobe Bryant, makes that awesome slam dunk, as it's now gonna be a 2-0 Laker lead. So now Marcus Camby gonna pick it up for Quinn Cook. So now Quinn Cook is gonna get this one, actually misses that, so we're gonna pass it over to Kobe Bryant. He is gonna knock down a three. He was MVP the episode before last. And last episode, it was Shaquille O'Neal. So now Carmelo Anthony going to pass it over to Quinn Cook. So Carmelo making that three for the Nuggets. So now it is Shaq O'Neal going to go into the paint. Gets it in for two. It is now 7-3 Los Angeles. So now Allen Iverson played for the Sixers in the 01 finals against O'Neal and Bryant. So we'll probably face off Iverson again in the playoffs, because he was featured in the 0708 Nuggets and in the 0001 Sixers. So now Horace Grant gets it in for two. So it's now 9-5. And they're going to pass over to Allen Iverson. So Allen Iverson losing the basketball. Horace Grant going to pass over to Kobe. And Horace Grant is going to pick up the assist. And LA takes the lead here 11-5. And now Allen Iverson has a backcourt violation. His foot, might have been his right foot, stepped behind the line. So Derek Fisher going to pass over to Rick Fox. And then Horace Grant. And then Kobe Bryant with that three. And it is now going to be 14-5 here at the Pepsi Center in Denver. So now Quinn Cook passing it over to Iverson. Iverson makes that three, and it is now 14-8. So I'm going to pass over to Shaquille O'Neal. Kobe Bryant with the assist, and it is now 16-8. So we are leading this one by half. And Allen Iverson, the Georgetown product, passing it over to Kenyon Martin, and then Carmelo Anthony with the layup in there. So it's now 16-10. So Horace Grant going to pass it over to Kobe, and there is a foul on Allen Iverson. So Bryant is going to go to the free throw line once at it for the Nuggets. For the Lakers, excuse me. And Bryant actually gets it in, so it's now 19-10. 1 minute and 26 seconds to go in the first. Cook losing the basketball, then he picks it up again for the Nuggets. He's going to pass it over to Stephen Hunter, so it's now going to be 19-12. So now we got Kobe Bryant out on the court for the Lakers, going to hit a three. and it actually goes in, so it's now going to be 22-12. So now it is Quinn Cook with possession, and the Nuggets are going to take a timeout. We're actually going to take a break. All right, so the first quarter is almost over, but I just wanted to say we are up by 4, make it 6, and Shaquille O'Neal is going to get that in for 2, so it's now 11.9 seconds to go. Quinn Cook with possession of the basketball, so it looks like Quinn Cook is going to pass it over, and he will get the assist. So we're just going to dribble it out since there's really 3 seconds left in the first quarter. And we are up by 4, 26-22 here at the Pepsi Center. All right, it is now 26-22. We're going to pass it over to Robert Horry and then Derek Fisher. And we've had 22 points off of assists for the Lakers. So now it's going to be 28-22. And now Quinn Cook is going to pass it over to Carmelo Anthony. He drills a 3 from behind the arc. So it's now going to be 28-25. And we got Derek Fisher out on the court for the Lakers. So Derek Fisher gets that one in for 2. It's now 30-25. Derek Fisher is scoring his first 2 points of the episode. And now Quinn Cook has possession of the basketball. So he's going to pass it over to Anthony as a nice lob pass. So now Ron Harper with possession. He's going to get that layup in there. It's now 32-27. And now it is Quinn Cook losing the basketball, then picking it back up for the Nuggets. So now Stephen Hunter makes the dunk, and the Lakers take a timeout. Alright, so we are back out on the court. Our timeout was just short. This break was short because I was doing substitution. So now Stephen Hunter has a shooting foul, so this means Kobe Bryant is going to go to the free throw line. He has 17 points today. And will he get his 18th one of the game? Yes, he will. It's now 34-29. The Nuggets are trying to catch up, and they want to win their first game of the series. And the Lakers it looks like they want to win this one. So Allen Iverson getting that layup in there for 2. So now Shaq O'Neal going to pass it over to Brian Shaw and then Kobe Bryant. We're actually going to knock down a 3 with Bryant on this, actually a 2-pointer. Thought it would be a 3, but his foot was stepped on the line, so that technically does not make it a 3 whatsoever. So now Kobe making the steal, and I'm going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. So now Shaq O'Neal gets it in for 2, and it's now 38-31. Nuggets are down by 7, so now Davis with the possession, losing the basketball. Bryant picking it up, going to pass over to Shaquille O'Neal. Kobe is going to pick up the assist, and it's now going to be 40-31. So now Allen Iverson losing the basketball. Marcus Camby picking it up. So now it's Davis going to pass it over to Camby, gets it in there, so it is now 40-33. So now Kobe Bryant losing the basketball. Iverson picking it up. So now Davis is going to pass it over. And that is going to be a 3. So it's going to be 40-36. Kobe Bryant. We're going to pass it over to D-Fish. And D-Fish is going to make that 3 happen for the Lakers. So it's now going to be 43-36. And the Nuggets are going to take a timeout. Alright, it is now 47-38. Shaquille O'Neal with 1 steal and 16 points for him today. Erdo Nahaja going to pass over to Kenyon Martin. So now Kenyon Martin, who his son is with the Houston Rockets currently. His son, Kenyon Martin Jr. So now Brian Shaw is going to knock down a 3 for the Lakers. And it's now going to be 50-40. 28.3 seconds to go. The Lakers are up by 10. So they're going to play some consistent defense. So now there is a foul on Ty Lue, who is now the head coach of the Los Angeles Clippers. And it's now going to be 50-40. So now Stephen Hunter gonna make that layup in there, and it's now gonna be 50-42. So we're gonna pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. So now Shaq O'Neal gets this one in for two. 9.8 seconds to go. And we are still up by 10. And Kenyon Martin picks up the basketball. So now Iverson making that in there. And it's now 52-44. So the Lakers are up by 8. Make that 10. So Shaquille O'Neal was like 1.3 seconds from making that halftime buzzer beater. And it's already halftime. Halftime score is the LA Lakers 54, the Denver Nuggets 44. All right, it is now 54-44. Kobe Bryant, the Lower Merion High School product, is going to go into the paint, makes the dunk, and it is now 56-44. So now Allen Iverson with possession of the basketball. He's going to dribble it, and he is going to go up to the paint, do an Air Jordan move. He's like Superman. And it's 11 points for him. 5 for 5 in field goals. So now Kobe making another dunk. And it's now 58-46. So now Carmelo Anthony going to pass it over to Iverson. So now Shaq O'Neal making the steal. Going to pass over to Rick Fox. And then Derek Fisher. And then Kobe Bryant. We're going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. So Bryant will get the assist, as it's now 60-46, so 21st half points for Shaquille O'Neal, and he had 2 monstrous dunks. So now Quinn Cook with possession of the basketball. He loses it, but then Shaquille O'Neal picks it up. We're going to pass it over to Kobe Bryant. So Bryant gets this dunk in the paint. The Nuggets are going to take a timeout. All right, so Horace Grant, we're going to pass it over to Devian George, and then Robert Horry, and then Brian Shaw, and then Horace Grant will get this one in for 2, so it's now 68-49. And the Nuggets are 95% in field goals, while the Lakers are at 100%, so that's something interesting to see. We're going to pass it over to Horace Grant. He is going to make a dunk happen, and it's now 70-49. So the Lakers are up by 21 points. All Denver needs to do is make 7 threes to tie this one up. And Carmelo Anthony with that dunk, and it's now going to be 70-51. So now Ron Harper, I'm going to pass it over to Horace Grant. And Horace Grant, he gets blocked. But the Lakers still have possession of the basketball in regards to that. So now we're going to pass it over to Horace Grant. Gets it in there for 2. Now it's 72-51. And Carmelo Anthony is going to pass it over to Quinn Cook. And, oh wow, I thought we were going to get that possession, but the 07-08 Nuggets evidently maintain it for now. But there's only a minute 16 to go in the third, so they're going to pass it over to Carmelo Anthony, and then Quinn Cook losing the basketball. So now Tyronn Lue making the steal, going to pass over to Ron Harper. So Ron Harper gets it in. It's now 74-51. Lakers have a 23-point lead in this episode. So now they're going to pass it over to Carmelo, and Carmelo's going to make that 3 happen. It's now 74-54, so we're going to use Mark Madsen, going to use Devian George for 2, and it's now going to be 76-54. But now Quinn Cook losing the basketball, but then George with the layup in the paint, so it's now 78-54. 37.4 seconds to go. So now Melo going to pass it over to Quinn Cook. And now Tyronn Lue going to pass it over to Devian George. We end up losing the basketball. And it is Ron Harper that picks it up for the Lakers. So I'm thinking about passing it over to Robert Horry. And then I might use Harper, maybe 14 seconds. And we have an offensive 5-second violation. So The ball evidently goes to Denver. So now Carmelo Anthony with the possession of the basketball. Carmelo getting this one in for 2. So we're just going to dribble until the quarter ends. So it's now 78-56. Nuggets are taking a Lakers are taking a 22-point lead. All right, so now Shaquille O'Neal passing over Rick Fox, and then Mark Madsen, and then Derek Fisher, and then Kobe Bryant gonna make his 33rd point of the game tonight with a 3. It's now 81-59. So Denver is down by 22 points. Allen Iverson gonna pass over to Carmelo Anthony, and Iverson picks up that assist. Now we're gonna pass it over to Kobe Bryant. Gets it in there for 2, so it's now 83-61. And now Allen Iverson with possession of the basketball. Where is he going to take this direction to? But Iverson going to pass it over to Carmelo Anthony. So now Carmelo, he is going to go up into the paint. Gets it in there for 2, so it's now 83-63. So Carmelo Anthony with 30 points tonight, and Kobe is going to get this one in for 2, as it's now 85-63. Kobe Bryant with 37 points today, and Nuggets are going to take a timeout. All right, so now Derek Fisher going to pass it over to Kobe Bryant. So now Kobe going to get this one in for 2. Actually, Kenyon Martin has a foul, so this is going to be an opportunity for Bryant to go to the free-throw line once at it. Does he actually get it in? No, but it is 87-66, which we're at a 21-point lead right now. And Shaq O'Neal is going to pass it over to Derek Fisher. So Fisher gets it in. O'Neal with the assist. Now it's 89-66, so they're down by 23, Iverson and the Nuggets. But they're going to pass over to Carmelo Anthony. 14 points already for the Lakers and 21 fast break points. So Carmelo is going to knock down a 3-pointer. So we're going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. Gets it in there, but Marcus Camby does have a shooting foul. But O'Neal is going to go to the free-throw line. Misses that one. So now Marcus Camby is going to pass it over to Carmelo Anthony, and then Quinn Cook with the possession. I'm going to pass over to Allen Iverson. So Iverson gets it in there. So it's now 91-71. Derek Fisher going to pass it over to Kobe Bryant once at it. So now Kobe making the dunk. And it's now 93-71. So now Quinn Cook with the possession. And it looks like they're going to pass it over to Marcus Camby. And then Quinn Cook going to pass it over to Kenyon Martin. Losing the basketball, Horace Grant going to pass it over to Derek Fisher. And now Shaquille O'Neal with the dunk. It's now 95-71. Carmelo Anthony with the possession with only a minute 23 to go. I'm thinking the Lakers are going to win the 3rd game of this series. So that's something fun to see along the line. So now Marcus Camby making that dunk. It's now 95-73. So we're going to pass over to O'Neal, and O'Neal gets it in for 2, and it's now 97-73. And now it is Quinn Cook with the possession, and Shaquille O'Neal going to pass it over to Derek Fisher, and then back to Kobe Bryant. So Bryant is going to knock down the team's 100th point of the game. But it's now 173. So Bryant with the steal, 51 seconds. I think we're going to make this dunk happen. We actually do. And we are actually going to take a small break. Kobe Bryant is your player of the game for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I will explain the numbers after the game. But right now, 25 seconds are left in the 4th quarter. So now Stephen Hunter has possession. He is, I think, going to probably make a 2-pointer in the paint. Yes, he will. And it's now 106-80. So we're going to use Isaiah Rodder, and then we're going to use some Shaquille O'Neal getting this one in for 2. 108-80 is the score right now. But you may never know if Denver could score within the next few seconds, but I don't think they're going to score because possibilities are, and we win it. 108-80 is the final score here at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. So we're actually going to go over the numbers right now. Kobe Bryant, 50 points, 6 assists, 4 steals, 9 dunks on the day, 5 for 5 from behind the arc. Shaquille O'Neal, 30 points in all, 1 rebound, 6 assists, 3 steals, and 3 dunks on the day. Horace Grant, he did have 10 points, 3 assists, 2 steals on the day, 1 dunk. Derek Fisher, 7 points, 7 assists, and 2 steals. Carmelo Anthony, he had 36 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 3 dunks on the day. Allen Iverson with 16 points, 3 assists, 1 steal on the day, and he had 2 dunks. So that wraps it up, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next episode.